Stakes are piling up high against the embattled national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Uche Secondus. Members of the PDP caucus in the House of Representatives have passed a vote of no confidence on him, while a face-saving move by the governors is yet to make an headway. But Secondus is adamant and has vowed never to resign. In a statement, he said there's nothing to warrant his resignation, stating that those who want him out are the tiny minority. Babajide, in your last argument, you questioned the logic behind this resignation, call for resignation of Uche Secondus, and say if convention is November, December, why don't you allow him to just see of the convention? But trust politicians. After the program, I dug further. I now discovered that, it's still this stake that we're talking about. The stake is that if he is the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party till that convention, he is going to have the unilateral authority to set up a convention committee that will supervise the election. And some people elsewhere, they are afraid of this. They just don't want him to have anything to do with that convention today.
Well, that's the goal. I felt that, look, by the timetable, a new national chairman should take office by the first week of December, meaning that their convention must happen latest maybe last week of November. So that first week of December, a new chairman or even E2 could return. But politics being what it is, when people come for you, they don't want to leave you with any chance of survival. I've had a very big politician in this country say, look, you don't empower your enemies. And when you want to kill the enemy, you kill him completely.
Go all out.
All out war. No let up. Just there. So what they want now is a situation in which he goes today, so that he cannot set up the critical task that they know he has, is to set up the electoral committee for the convention. They don't want him to do that because is what they want. What they don't want is for him to preside over the next meeting, where that decision to set up the electoral committee that will conduct the affairs of the convention as it concerns election of principal officers of the party.
That next NWC.
They don't want, because NEC is big. So he will be able to find those who are pliable, those who will be able to work for him to ensure that he survives. So they don't want him to remain chairman at the time when that NEC meeting will be called, and the decision to set up that electoral committee will take place. That is how they are thinking, that let's get him out of the way quickly. So if they get him out of the way, then someone else will preside over NEC. So when someone else presides over NEC, then they know that he's gone. For us who are outsiders, we are not card-carrying members of either APC or PDP. The way we see things is not the way the average politician will see things. That's why I remember one governor saying, you are a small boy, what do you know? When I asked him one question, because it shocked me. The person he pointed at and described as his leader is in the rival party. And I said, this person, why are you saying this person is your leader? He said, you are a small boy, what do you know? So I left him, the small boy.
Truly, he understands what he's saying.
He knows what he's saying, but he didn't want me to harass him for that. So I left him. Secondus is accused of steering all kinds of divisions within the state chapters of the party, especially in the south, southwest especially. And the reason they think he's doing that is the last crisis, just before he was elected, you know, PDP wanted it to be zoned to the southwest.
Yes.
Somehow.
Yes.
Within the southwest, crisis was contrived between them, and you had at least 2 persons rooting for the position. So in the midst of that disagreement and all that, people like his godfather in quotes, who has now turned against him, began saying, what has the Southwest contributed to the party? That you want the Southwest to get the chairmanship. So in all of that division,
and rooting to be the chairman.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But unfortunately for them, if they had one candidate, if they rooted behind one candidate, Benga Daniel too wanted it. If they had come behind one candidate, it would have been difficult to penetrate their ranks. But by the time different people said they wanted to contest, they too now contrived the crisis and made sure that, okay, people like Uche pushed that he should go to the South that had been loyal to the party from the beginning. You know? So this is they are now saying that it pays him for more crises to happen in some states where he suspects that he could be challenged. So now they look at what they have in Ekiti. Fayose, she's saying that they should give him all of the structures. But some are saying, look, when you had the whole structures as a sitting governor, it didn't stop you from losing election. Let other people take this, take that. Let Eleka, who is the former deputy, let him take some. Let Olujimi, my former senator, take some. Let Segun Onitu take some. But Fayose insists that he must get everything. Move away from there. The 3 governors, the governors who have defected, they too are saying that he contrived the crisis in their state that forced them to go. And when you look at what happened in Cross River, maybe to an extent that is true. So people are saying, look, if we keep him, he will continue to contrive crisis that will make sure that PDP is worse than the state that he met it. So this is the reason some of them want him to leave immediately. And they know that, look, if they do not force him to resign, you can't kick him out easily without the convention. The convention is the power to remove the chairman rests in the convention. That is the most powerful organ of the party. So they are not prepared to wait until that time. So they want to pile pressure on him so that he eventually will throw in the towel. But there are people senior people within the party, elderly people too, who think that, look, Uche is beginning to bite more than he can chew. Now, let him not see himself as the conqueror of all of us. So let's back this person. So anything can still happen at this stage.
At what point in time? Because I know that Secondus is like a creation of Governor Uche. As in, all through when they were fighting that war and everything that was in Abuja during the time of when they wanted to present the chairman and everything. At what point in time? Fast forward 2019, the Port Harcourt Convention.
Yeah, I was going to say that. The problem started after the 2019 primaries. You know, Uche's candidate then. 2018 December. Uche's candidate was Tambua.
Governor of Sokoto State.
Governor of Sokoto State. While some people preferred Atiku. And Uche insisted that for him to have an edge,
first of all, the convention must be held in Port Harcourt. Unless PDP
and now
is in trouble.
They agreed. And Atiku mobilized to that place and defeated.
Went to his home state.
Took the
battle there.
Beat him at home.
He beat Uche at home. So, and he couldn't have succeeded without the support of Secondus. So, Uche felt betrayed that this guy, I made you chairman so that I can have you at my whims and caprices, but I mean, maybe to higher bargain.
Dancing to my tune.
But was he expecting him to rig the election for him?
So, but
because it was free and fair.
But the free and fair is in quotes. Because
it was free and fair.
Things were flying.
Atiku, yes, it was flying on both sides.
Was flying.
What Atiku did, because what Atiku did was, at the airport, he positioned people. As soon as you land, and they know that you are a delegate of
you to a camp.
They've already rented hotel for
Yeah.
people. You just go straight to the hotel, and they will quarantine you inside that hotel.
Yeah.
And then you get your dollars. You know you are going to vote for them.
Yeah.
They didn't have the organizational capacity of the Atiku team, led by Benga Daniel. Also, the thing was free and fair. And they didn't rig the election.
Fair and fair, quote unquote, and Biodun show me, you know. Now, but in politics, you know, I've my brother is the deputy speaker in Ekiti, and I was in politics, so to say, quote unquote, between 2010 and 2014 before I left. Now, one of the politicians once told me that if we have 10 naira to distribute amongst three of us here, normally a rational person will think that, yeah, Jide has the biggest body here, is the elder, I mean, is the eldest. He should have 4, and the 2 of us should take 3. He said, no, politicians don't think like that. Jide will take 8 first and struggle with the remaining 2 with us.
That is if Jide is truly greedy.
No, he said the way, I know I said it. I said, politicians, the way they think. So he said,
that takes all.
That is it. So he said, he will take 8. We will expect that the remaining 2,
he will
struggle with the remaining 2.
They will not get any.
So he said, politicians are like that. So he said, power is not served a la carte. You fight for it. So you go all out so that they will know that, no, this guy. So that's why you see a governor who will put a successor, and less than 6 months, the successor will chase the governor out of town. It has happened in most cases because now when whoever succeeds the governor gets there, you will discover that the security vote, say for example, in a state like Akwa Ibom, is about probably between 750 and 1 billion per month. Say, what? So this is what this man has been taking for the past 4 or 8 years, and he gives us a peanuts and he's telling us there's no money. And security vote is first line charge. You will now calculate it in
8 years down the line.
8 years. Say, wow. So what else does he want? No, I have to kick him out. So for the case of Secondus and Uche, Secondus is ready to fight to the end. But we will soon determine how many lives his own cat has, because Uche is not going to give in easily too. All the things we are looking at it's a build-up towards 2023, because the Atiku, of course, he has shown interest in running for 2023, and he knows that without Uche, it will be difficult for him, while Tambuwa and Uche, they're into an alliance. So it's going to be a battle of wits. But now, the forces against Secondus are growing. Although some people, even if they don't like Uche, they feel that removing Secondus now might be injurious to their intention. Because, I mean, imagine Uche storming the BOT meeting and causing a stalemate there. So, and you have to take, because Uche has been spending a lot of money to move the party. And they see Atiku coming in at very close to election cycles. So that's why it's going to be a very tough battle going forward.
Let me ask you
for Secondus and the PDP.
Now, another observation. 4 years ago, if you look at what happened in Ondo State, if you look at what happened towards the election, those off-season election states, now you see that this same PDP, it was McCarthy. I mean, what's the name of this? Alimodi Sheriff crisis that engulfed the party till some weeks before the election proper, before the Supreme Court now had to just get the party off the neck of Alimodi Sheriff.
Yes.
Is this leadership crisis? Now, APC, they're having their own fair share of crisis. And the People's Democratic Party is back to like their default mode. Like anytime election is close by, there will be crisis. What do you think is responsible?
Well, It's just hunger for power, nothing else. PDP has a history of chasing away party chairmen. I don't think it's not even that I don't think. There is no party in Nigerian history that has changed party chairmen like the PDP. Go back to their first ever chairman, Alex Ekweme, when he decided to contest for presidency. Alex yielded that position to Solomon La. After Solomon La, we've had the likes of different people. Different people. Amadu Ali, you know. Some will come eat pounded yam in Obasanjo's house, and after eating pounded yam, before it even digests in their belly,
you are removed.
They are removed. No party has changed their leadership like PDP. When even Muazu, the former governor of Bauchi State, when he refused to deliver the 2015 election to them, they didn't waste time. They chased him away. You know, and that was how Alimodu Sheriff came in. Alimodu Sheriff too. Huh?
If you remember,
they said Bamanga Tukur. They felt he was working too much for Goodluck Jonathan to ensure that Goodluck Jonathan returned. And what did they do? Remember, even on the day of their convention for the last election, they still removed the chairman. The chairman was not expected at Eagle Square. That was where they removed him. You remember?
They removed him before they started the.
Yes, and put Halilu, the former customs man. So this is PDP. But I think that some individuals like the governor of Rivers State are becoming too overbearing in their attitude. And there are people now who feel that, look, for Wike to not think that he owns the party, then they have to support this person. If Atiku is already supporting him, you brought this person. Remember when Wike, when his candidate did not become the chairman of the PDP caucus in the House of Reps, look at all the trouble that it caused. He said they should suspend all of the PDP members in the House of Reps. And those guys said, no, we have the right to choose our leaders. Yes. They stood up to him because he wanted Chinda. But the people already voted for Elumelu. So this is the thing. Now, remember all of what he did ahead of the Edo election, when he was calling his party members tax collectors. Yes. Just insulting people. Every time he doesn't have his way, something happens. He thinks other people don't matter. Yes, you fund the party. But you must also treat party members with respect. So some people have sympathy for, agree that this man has not been able to manage the crisis, especially at state chapters. And if we go by what happened in Cross River, you could say, okay, that he has been imposing people. You impose a chairman in Osun State, you impose a chairman. Those ones too, because that's what the Adele case wanted. Those ones, the people on the other side will not be happy with Secondus. So he has enemies. He must know now that it is only by compromise that he can survive this. Maybe they will give him a soft landing or some sort of compromise. But with Wike and others baying for blood, he knows that there is a tough battle ahead of him. And with every passing day, these people, their number will increase. The number of the people, because as I said...
House of Rep caucus now.
Yes.
Of PDP.
The SAC, Wike does not own...
NWC members.
The truth is, Wike may appear like the poster boy for the SAC Secondus group. But Wike does not own the copyright for SAC Secondus.
Okay.
Other people have been there even before him.
All right, I have Alphonsus calling us from Lagos. Thank you for staying with us, Alphonsus.
Good afternoon, the senior super journalist.
I greet you.
I greet you.
Thank you, my brother.
Jamil, I greet you too.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I think Wike and the CPC, they are confused people. Yeah, and now Wike are trying to rule Nigeria. What they have said that they want the Southerners, the presidency to come to South. So now, who is going to be the president and the vice? Is it Wike or Samuel? Are they not confused? Are they? I'm asking a clear demonstration. What do you say to that?
Thank you. Thank you, Alphonsus, for your contribution. We'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. Please stay with us. Don't go away. It's still Journalist Hangouts. We have to wrap up on this, Babajide. So on the final analysis, this is an ongoing thing, and I'm sure, till they have their way.
They won't leave. Wike by nature.
That there's no sleep for Secondus.
There is extremely stubborn blood flowing in Wike's veins, and he will not give up until he sees the back of Secondus, because he's been antagonistic of Secondus for almost 3 years now. He knows that Secondus is not likely to support him. Can he wait for 4 more years? You know that it will be difficult. So he wants to get him out of.
We're not even talking that Secondus should even perish the idea of recontesting to be the chairman.
The next NEC meeting of the party, he does not want him to preside.
Not to talk of.
So that is the plan. Because when he presides, he will take big decisions, including the appointment of electoral body members. And those ones will do his bidding.
Yeah.
So he does not want that to happen. You know that Secondus is an Ijoman. Wike and co pied pressure to the point that the former governor of Bayelsa, who had a different candidate, he was told that, look, this is your Ijo brother now. That's Dixon. This is your Ijo brother. He had to support Secondus in the end. So now your candidate has emerged, and you've been fighting from day one. Because the presidential primaries didn't go your way.
Interests. The same thing.
No, it's going to be.
Some people, they flew the kite earlier that Secondus might want to recontest in that office and everything. But Secondus himself, in that emergency meeting with the BOT, came out to say like he has not told anybody he's interested in the second term.
When politicians tell you they are not interested,
that means he's even interested.
It's more interested when they are telling you they are not interested.
Really?
Yeah, and with the way Secondus is going, he has some people that are backing him, and I think they want to take the battle to Wike, but they should be ready for a big one, because Wike has absolute capacity, both in terms of financial, to cause trouble, financial and otherwise.
Absolute capacity, I like that word in Nigeria context.
That's financial capacity.
Yes. My late dad
without financial capacity, that absolute capacity is not possible.
All right.